Hello, my name's Sarah Naish. I'm from Inspire Training and I wanted to talk to you today about looking after children with attachment disorder and how we understand them. I know a bit about this because I adopted 5 children with attachment disorder 17 years ago and raised them to adulthood. I also ran a successful fostering agency and worked as a social worker in fostering and adoption in the UK. So what I'm talking to you about today is based on many years' experience, some of those as a foster carer even. I understand how difficult it is and how frustrating it is looking after children with attachment difficulties. But in order to heal the children, we need to truly understand how they think, why they think the way they do, and then we need to change our parenting in order to heal the children. On our Therapeutic Parents Facebook page, we have people asking us every day, why does my child do this? I feel your pain. It's the most difficult thing to try and understand why the children behave to us so illogically. So after you've watched this video today, I'm sure you'll have a much better understanding. Okay, let's start off by thinking about birth children who might be securely attached, because we need to have something to compare our children to. So first of all, if we're building a wall, as we know, we've got to have really solid foundations. Let's have a look at what this looks like. As you can see on the bottom row, we have things like basic needs like food and shelter, etc. Your child must have had these basic needs met, because if they hadn't, they probably wouldn't be alive today. Now we need to build on that. So let's see what that looks like. Because our child is growing quite securely, we need to think what's going on in their head. So what's going on in their brain is firing off millions of synapses, and they're making pathways and motorways, and these motorways are saying things like, when I'm upset, mummy comes, mummy looks after me. The child only knows that they are a person because somebody is responding to them. So once we've got all those things in place, once we look at like the 5th level, then this child's very sophisticated and they can experience language, they can grow in language, they can enjoy music and experience that as well. But let's look at our completed secure wall for a moment. What's happened with this child? How has he learnt to interpret the world? Well, he's been in his cot and maybe he's cried. When he cries, someone hears him and someone's thinking, I wonder what's going on there. They come and they meet the need. Now let's think that this child might be hungry. First of all, he'll have a sensation of being uncomfortable. He doesn't know it's hunger, he just knows he's uncomfortable. Because he's uncomfortable, he cries. The caregiver comes and they anticipate what his need is. The carer then might give him a bottle of milk, food, and then the child isn't crying anymore because they're no longer hungry. The carer's action has built the motorway in the child's brain and has helped the child to understand that the feeling he had was hunger and was met by having food. So let's think now about what might happen with our children that we're looking after. I'm going to base this on a real story. I'm going to base it on a child that I know. So this little boy, he was born to a family where the parents almost certainly had attachment difficulties. And he was born into a situation where there were many other children in the family. There was chronic neglect and chronic abuse happening. Because of this, he was actually left in his cot for a period of over 2 years. Virtually never came out, so his leg muscles wasted away. He didn't have any real interaction with people. We can take it as read that he would have had the first line of the wall. However, that might not have looked how we would expect it to look, because with food, for example, the food would have been very sporadic, not age appropriate. He was given a roast dinner at the age of 6 weeks old, which caused huge digestive issues for him. And he was alone for much of his early childhood. Let's see what that looks like. The child's world is a very frightening one. He's hungry, but no one's coming, so he doesn't learn to interpret hunger. Sleep is something that eludes him. He doesn't know when it's night or day. He's alone for much of the time. Language isn't developing. He's in pain often, but the pain receptors are just switched off because he doesn't learn how to make it any better. He doesn't even know that he's a person because people aren't relating to him. He doesn't make any sense in the world, and nothing makes any sense to him. This is a lonely place to be, and all he can fall back on in the end is just the need to survive. Some of his motorways might be saying things like, already, I can't trust adults, nobody comes when I cry. He would have been in pain quite a lot of the time because he had a dirty nappy on. Sometimes he didn't have a nappy on, that nappy wasn't changed regularly. So the urine would have made him very sore, and in fact when he was taken into care he had many open sores all over his body. So how does he interpret pain? He feels pain, he cries, nobody comes. So he never gets to really build the motorway in his brain which says this is what pain is. In the same way, he's also not able to interpret this is what hunger is. So this child, as he grew up, came into care, he was unable to feel hunger when he was full up. He was unable to feel pain, but completely overreacted if he fell off his bike, thought he was dying. So we see a lot of desensitisation in these children where the pathways in their brain simply are not there. Have a look at this MRI scan. This compares two brains, a healthy child and a child who suffered severe neglect. The children then adapt their behaviour to the person sitting in front of them to make sure they're okay. That's why sometimes we see children going into foster placement and really identifying with the carer and being like, oh, you like making jam? I love making jam. Oh, you like patchwork? Oh, I love making patchwork. My daughter convinced my mum that she was really into patchwork. She couldn't sew a button on, but she did that because she wanted to get the best out of my mum during the time that she was with her, and she wanted to make sure she was safe. She was not doing it to be deceitful. She was not doing it to hurt me or to hurt my mother. That's a really important thing that we have to grasp. The children are doing this to survive, and they're just doing their learnt behaviours. The child has learnt some really good survival skills, and you'll be seeing these survival skills that they've learned. For example, you might see the fake smile. Looks a bit like this. Notice there's no smiling in the eyes going on, it's all happening down here. It's very difficult for carers looking after children that fake smile. They have fake smiles in order to keep themselves safe, so what the fake smile is saying to you is, don't hurt me, keep me safe, I'm no threat to you. It's a purely instinctive thing that they're doing, the same as talking in a baby voice. This is absolutely inbuilt very early on in order to ensure their survival. In the same way, we get really frustrated when we say teachers, social workers, therapists, they're taken in by this child. We know that they're not like this and they give me a really hard time at home. Well, the reason why is because the children, again, they're very skilled at reading body language. It's a minute indications on your face. And what they're doing all the time is they're reading the person sitting in front of them and checking, am I safe? Am I safe? That's very disempowering because we see all these behaviours. We see that the child is going out without a coat on and doesn't seem to feel cold, the fact that it's snowing. And you can explain to this child 100 times, there's no point. There's no point sitting the child down and talking to them about their behaviour. Those pathways don't exist yet. Think about your house now, your kitchen. Think about where your cutlery drawer is. 20 times a day you're going to go to your cutlery drawer and you're going to get out a knife, fork, spoon. Now someone's coming in and they're completely reorganising your kitchen. Your cutlery drawer's not going to be there anymore, it's going to be the other side of the kitchen. How many times are you going to go to the cutlery drawer where it used to be to get a knife out? How helpful would it be if someone said to you, "Why do you keep going to that place? You know we moved the cutlery drawer." That's what we're doing every time we say to a child, "Why did you do that?" They don't know why they did it. It's our job as therapeutic parents to work out why they did it, give them the answers and help to heal their brains. Their base brain can be thought of like a smoke detector. It's always going off, always ready for fight or flight because they've lived so much of their life in danger. The therapeutic parent helps the child to switch off the smoke detector and only use it for when there is real danger present and not constantly being in fear. So the key thing we need to really grasp about the children that we're looking after is they're not doing it on purpose. They are not doing it to us. They're not doing it to you. They are simply doing it in order to survive. They have learnt to survive in the only way that they could, and the neglect and the inconsistent parenting that they've experienced has created different pathways in their brain. I hope you found this little insight useful. Don't worry, we don't just give you the problems, we also give you the solutions. We use our many years of experience and very successful outcomes with children to help you to put very quick and easy strategies in place to help your child to overcome the difficulties that they were set in early life. I have got really good outcomes with my children. They're happy, they're healthy, they're securely attached. You can do it too, but you've got to make the change first. You need to be a therapeutic parent for your child.